look, I covered it in February, March 2020. I don't have some medical degree. Just a little common sense, and that's enough. Analyzing the data that the medical experts were actually making available to us. And it seemed very early on that, well, there was no need to overreact to COVID, yet so many people did. And Fauci on various subject matters flopped like it was going out of style. Flip-flopped, that is. Initially talking about masking and the accuracy, or less about accuracy and more the efficiency of wearing it. All that. And then out of nowhere, it became the thing that everybody must do. Remember that, because some of y'all still do it. But just remember that there was an era. There was a point in time where fools were going around wearing these idiotic cloth masks over their face. And some establishments wouldn't even let you in it unless you had that diaper on your face. Now, the whole 6 foot, y'all remember that? Where it's 6 feet of distance. And again, all these different establishments had these stupid layouts in their stores where they're trying to keep people separate because somehow that was going to stop the spread of the COVID. Well, Fauci has had some interesting things to say about that. So let's take a look. I'm reading this here because it's compiled. Here's a question. It's a recent subcommittee hearing. Do you recall reviewing any studies or data supporting masking for children? And this is what was asked of Fauci. He says, I don't recall. It sort of just appeared. I don't recall like a discussion or whether it should be 5 or 6 or whatever. It was just that 6 foot is. Did you see any studies that supported 6 feet? Y'all remember, it's keeping people 6 feet apart. I was not aware. This is what he's saying. I was not aware of studies that, in fact, that would be a difficult study. Do you recall reviewing any studies or data supporting masking for children? I might have. He doesn't really know. But I don't recall specifically that I might have. That he did. He just might have. So there's that. This man, his establishment, his colleagues between the NIH and all the alphabet cats advising everybody, young folk, and what they must do and how schools are supposed to act. Remember, all of them were operating as if this man's word was gospel. And if you disagree with Fauci, well, you're really against science, so they told me. It was all a goddamn sham. Excuse my language. By God, I mean G-O-T, not G-O-D. It was a sham. Top to bottom, it was a sham. And even after the fact, when it's safe, they get to say, weasel around like, well, we just kind of, and this is what Fauci always gets away with. It's like, well, I'm not the government, really. I just work for them. So I can advise, but I can't force people to do anything. As if that absolves him of any wrongdoing. These guys were telling you fibs, advocating that you do things that made no sense. They talk about the science all day long, but the science supported them not. They lied. And this is why I try to be empathetic, though there were some of y'all that were really angry and aggravated at me early on. It's funny, I went to one of my old videos the other day back in March and looked at some of my old comments, and some of y'all thought I was crazy as hell. But when you got the Faucis of the world and these establishment types that you guys trust so much, right? Because your stupid social studies classes had you believing that the government was the best among you, right? They never lie, right? They never do any of that. So you believe that just because they've been appointed, anointed in some cases, in the position that they are in, which Fauci isn't elected, but you get what I'm saying. But they are the smartest. They're the bravest, the boldest, the ones that have the most insight. And they were pumping this garbage into your noggins, and you believed them. You got angry at folks like me, but I try to be at least empathetic because y'all was scared shitless. And though that is not an excuse, make no mistake, it's not. But I try to get to the source. And that's the fundamental problem right there, is that the Faucis and these world leaders were going around telling y'all things that simply didn't make any sense. And even if you, with your own rationale, own critical thinking skills, would think through it, and you're like, this doesn't really make sense, but the establishment said it's true, so it must be. And you went along with it. And this is the thing that gets me. And this is the thing that's most frustrating to me. None of these sons of bitches are in prison for what they did. These fools got to move along like 2020, 2021, like that never happened. Like it never happened. None of that crap happened. Just like it just went away, right? Everybody went back to kind of doing their own thing. Folks suffered. Folks lost their businesses in the process between lockdowns or making it illegal, essentially, for them to be able to operate in the capacity that they were operating in the past. Governments all across the world, but let's talk about the United States government and Republicans and the dickhead Democrats, both of them, colluding with each other, including the former president, let's be honest, of the United States. And that's where y'all really start to get mad at me, because this he still sometimes goes around and tries to take credit for what he did with Operation Warp Speed, which was a massive wealth transfer right to the pharmaceutical companies that all lied to you. He was a part of it. He greenlit it. He takes credit for it. You can be mad at me, or he wasn't as bad as Biden. All I know is what I'm seeing. Not only did he do that, Operation Warp Speed, he signed off on these bills, trillions of dollars worth of stimulus packages, and you got folks that don't understand economics, and they say, well, he had no other choice, right? Everybody was being forced to stay home. This was what we had to do. That was the absolute worst thing that you could do. Why on earth, during an economic period of inactivity, would you simultaneously be printing money like it's going out of style? You got inactivity, from your workforce, most probably you've ever seen in modern history, because people can't work. And then on the other hand, you're spending more money than you ever have spent. What did you think was going to happen? And now here we are in 2024. Everything's gone up. Price of everything is just outrageous. And everybody's like, oh, what could have happened? I don't know, man. There was this black bearded guy. I went across as many platforms as I possibly could, and I tried to shout from the damn mountaintops, and you didn't listen. And again, this is my problem, is that all of the people that got away with this crap, none of them are in prison for it. And I don't say that to black pill you. I'm just giving it to you real. None of them are in prison. Thanks for watching. Be sure to head over to Rippaverse.com to check out our comic book company. We have books, plenty of merchandise, and even some glorious animations from Rippaverse Studios.